What if taking care of yourself actually helped you show up better for everyone else? I'm Janet Jacks, Coach Janet J, and this is your next best step. This podcast is about real doable shifts that help you breathe easier and move forward one step at a time. If you've been carrying the weight of too much for too long and waiting for things to calm down before you start caring for yourself, this is your sign. The time is now. Let's begin where you are. You were made for more than just surviving. Have you ever looked around and thought, where are my people? Not because you did something wrong, not because there's drama, more like life shifted. And the friendships that used to feel easy now feel distant, mismatched, or forced. If you are in midlife and you feel this, you are not alone and you are not broken. Today is gentle. This is about rebuilding connection in midlife with tenderness, wisdom, and zero shame. The episode is the heart side of friendship: grief, discernment, and permission. Quick note. Your upcoming Science Spotlight this week explores why friendship feels harder in midlife from a research angle. Things like the 200-hour problem, Dunbar's friendship layers, and practical scripts to use. Today, we are taking a different route. The emotional and spiritual process of realizing you have outgrown something and learning how to rebuild connection with peace. Disclaimer. This is educational and supportive, not counseling. If loneliness feels heavy or persistent, please reach out to a licensed professional and a trusted person in your life. There is a specific kind of grief that does not get validated. It's not a breakup. It's not a funeral. It is the quiet loss of, we used to be close. Sometimes you change after illness, or a career shift, or your kids leaving the house, or your faith deepening. Sometimes you wake up and realize, I'm not the same woman I was at 30. And that realization comes with a question that stings. Where are my people now? Here is the anchor verse for today. Ecclesiastes 3:1. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A season is not a sentence. A season is a chapter. And God is faithful in chapters. Some friendships are built for high-intensity seasons. Lots of shared time, lots of overlap, lots of mutual need. Some are built for low-key seasons. Quieter, sparser contact, still meaningful. And some were real for that season, and the season shifted. This is not judgment. This is discernment. I want to give you permission for 4 things today. Permission to outgrow friendships without guilt. Growth changes your needs. That is normal. Permission to grieve what was. If it mattered, it makes sense to miss it. Permission to seek new connections at any age. Adult friendship is not closed for enrollment. Permission to invest in fewer, deeper relationships. Depth is a form of wisdom. A few research notes to validate your experience. Friendship networks often shrink by nearly 50% during major life transitions. This is not failure. It is a nearly universal midlife experience according to research on friendship and life transitions. Midlife includes profound identity shifts. Research on midlife development shows this period involves reconciling who you were with who you are becoming. What psychologist Daniel Levinson called holding earlier images of the self while forming new ideas about the self of the future. Friendships that fit your earlier self may not fit with who you are becoming. Relationships require autonomy to thrive. Research published in studies on relationship maintenance shows that feeling volitional, meaning you are genuinely choosing to be in a relationship rather than staying out of obligation, is essential for both personal and relational well-being. When we stay in relationships out of obligation rather than authentic connection, both we and the relationship suffer. Light obligation versus substantive obligation matters. Research distinguishes between light obligation, which is the natural give and take of friendship, which also predicts well-being, and substantive obligation, which means feeling heavily burdened or trapped, which sometimes predicts lower well-being. So, if friendships shifted, this makes sense psychologically, developmentally, and spiritually. Let's name some common reasons friends drift gently. Life stages diverge. Values shift, including faith, priorities, lifestyle. Geography changes. You change, they change. The goal is not cut everyone off. The goal is to stop forcing closeness where your heart feels strained and to stop shaming yourself for noticing the strain. Here is a simple framework that avoids the extremes. How about let's look at it as 3 shelves. Put people on a shelf that fits the season. Front shelf, life-giving, mutual, present. These relationships energize you. Middle shelf, meaningful history, lighter contact. You honor the past without forcing the present. Back shelf, kind regard, minimal access for now. You wish them well from a distance. This lets you honor relationships without demanding they stay identical forever. This affects all 4 health pillars. Emotional, grief needs space, or it leaks out as irritability and numbness. Spiritual, seasons invite surrender. God, show me what to carry forward. Mental, your mind may interpret drift as rejection. Wisdom reframes it as transition. Physical, strained relationships often show up as tight shoulders, fatigue, shallow breathing. This is whole person work. Here is your 1 step for this week. No action plan required. Sit with 1 question. Is there a friendship I am holding on to out of obligation rather than genuine connection? That's it. No confronting, no speeches, no big decisions. If you want a simple way to notice, ask, do I feel peaceful after time with him or her? Do I feel more like myself or less like myself? Do I feel emotionally safe or emotionally taxed? Notice without condemning yourself or the other person. If that hits a tender spot, you are human. And you are allowed to want real connection. God does not shame you for needing people. He designed you for love, support, and community. And seasons are one way He guides you toward what is next. When you have lost one or some of your people, it may be growth, and it deserves grief plus discernment. This week's next best step is 1 question: obligation or genuine connection? If you know a woman who feels like friendship is harder at 50, please share this episode with her. You may bring the bridge back to hope. All right, you've got your next step. Small, doable, and real. If this inspired you, make sure to grab your free 5-minute daily reset at yournextbeststep.com. It's my gift to help you pause the chaos and reconnect with what matters most. Be sure to subscribe. And if someone came to mind while you listened, please share this with them. Remember, you are seen, you are known, and you matter. Be kind to yourself along the way. You are making real change, one step at a time. One more thing about those 3 shelves. These are not permanent assignments. People can move between shelves as seasons change. A front row shelf friendship might need to move to the middle shelf during her crisis season when she has no capacity to give. A back shelf relationship might move to the middle shelf after time, healing, or changed circumstances. And sometimes, rarely, yet sometimes, a middle shelf friendship moves back to the front when life brings you back together in surprising ways. The shelves are not judgments. They are seasonal assignments based on what is true right now. You are allowed to reassess. You are allowed to move people. You are allowed to change your mind when circumstances change. Grace covers the shelves too.